was the breech roll. I have to do here before I start all this attack is just take Titus, because he's going to be used on the multiple attacks. No, I can't do that. Okay, never mind. Well, we have to try this. It's 13, it's 23 to, it's 2 to 1. Now they get a 2 for the temple and knight, and I have Titus, so they actually get a -1. 2 to 1. 5 becomes a 4. Disruption. So he goes there and becomes routed, and then he can go there. Right? That's not a wall. Nope. And it's not zone of control. I don't get the continuous attack, and that's it. I'm back down to this, but I did get rid of some archers, so he won't be as impotent next turn. That's everybody. I can try. You have a 12. I have a 1 to 2 on that. Might as well try it. Missed. I have here 14 on your 4 double to an 8. 1 to 1. 4 at 1 to 1. That is a back, which he's not going to vacate that. So he'll disrupt it, overstack, there, becomes routed. Okay. That's it for the temple area. Let's go back to this side. I'll come back. This is pretty much, don't need to show you. I'm just going to try to roll up the sides with multiple attacks. Well, the Roman turn number 8 is done. And man, the -2 for the built-up hex and then nighttime really hurts. Really making it tough. It's getting tougher and tougher. The only thing I am thankful for is the only Judean reinforcements they can ever get now are, they're almost at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. They're at 38. They only get 2 more, and it's just the militia they have left. So he almost killed the leader, missed by 1. But now we have it all surrounded. Now, remember like last time I was trying to attack the rear guys. I don't have the power, can't do it. Running out of forces, as you can see here. I'm pulling guys down off the wall. I really got just militia left, except for some guys holding the gates. But anyways, all of this, on this, it's 10, 20, 30, 6. It's 48 on 15. So it's 3 to 1. And Judeans are attacking at night. They get a +1. Eleazar is attacking +2. And in their temple, +3. And I have Titus, so it takes 1 back. So it's actually a +2 to this dice at 3 to 1. Wow. And we have a back. And I think I'm just going to back up. I'm getting murdered there. And it will give him another attack. So I think Eleazar is going to go in. And we're going to take over that spot, and we're going to attack again. Which one's cheaper? This one has 13, 17. I can get 10, 22. I can get 28 on that. It's 2 to 1. Or I go 10, 26. Yeah. That's 2 to 1 on that. And no, you get +1 temple, +1 knight, +1 Eleazar. 3 is a 7 at 2 to 1. So that disrupted and eliminated. So that was pretty good. Let's disrupt this guy. Move him to there. I mean, we'd have to eliminate that legionnaire. And disrupt the leader, back him up to there. Alright. That's it. The Judean turn number 8. Turn number 8 complete. We will go to turn number 9. Still holding on to 2, but missile fire comes next. But we lost some of the missile fire range because I backed up. Thank goodness, I was getting murdered in that hex. Okay, so the Judean rally went very well, rallied these guys. Didn't get a couple in there. The fire phase really stunk over here. I had a whole line here missed. We only disrupted that piece in the clear and that piece in the clear, where last turn we had killed him. And then over here, because I was fortunate enough to back up, he lost all his firepower, but he still disrupted one guy there, and then we went after this hex and missed. Killed a couple guys over there. That's it. It's looking pretty bleak, but it's taken... It is now turn number 9. I'm going to do the Roman missile fire, then Roman movement. I'll come back when they're ready to attack. Okay, turn number 9. I did the missile fire. Not much to shoot at, just to kill the guy here. And then advanced everybody I could. What I want to try to do is... Well, the best one to start with, all I got is these two on this at 4-1. I have Titus and Cohort. They have nighttime in the temple, so it's whatever I get. 3. 4-1. We have a back and elimination. Nice. Both of these are stacked, so he gets disrupted, and then he can freely go there. So... that went well. A multiple attacker on this. And here I have a 16 on 13 and 14 is 27, 37 and 7 is 44. 16. So if I use all 3 of these, I can get 3-1. But he gets to plus temple, nighttime, Elazar, and I'm using different factions for a 4. I only have Titus, so it would be actually a -3 off this dice at 3-1. Or I keep it at 2-1, and he minuses 2 off the dice. Alright, I'm going to start with this attack. Maybe I can get down here and affect this. So I have 6 and 12. I have an 18. You have a 1 double to a 2. So it is actually 9-1. I get a +2, and it's not an elevated attack. So it's a 5. And it does give me an extra E. Not enough. Which would give me occupy and only to there. And I can occupy with 2. Alright, 2-1, -1. 3 goes down to a 1, and we miss. So nothing there. I only use those 2. Now let's hit this one with this stack. So on this attack, I'm in a breach, so it's only a 9, but I have 27 and he has 12. So it's 2-1. And he gets 2 for the nighttime and temple, but I do have cohort, so it's -1 off the dice. And missed. Alright, so those attacks didn't go anywhere. And then I'll move over here. Well, that's it for the Roman turn number 9. Cleared out some more. Missed a few shots here. It's tough. They're -2 on every attack because of nighttime and built up. Over there, it's the temple nighttime. And then if Elazar's there. So the Judean will rally. And then the Romans will missile fire. Well, the Judean missile fire is done in their phase and their rally. They didn't get none of these guys rallied. Because remember, it's nighttime. So they're adding 1. And the routing, you're adding 2. Now they were next to the leader, so you're still adding 1. And they missed. Anyways, in their missile fire, they disrupted a guy there. They killed 2 archers there. And they disrupted this guy here and missed everywhere else. So we're going to do the Romans fire. So the Roman fire is done, and we absolutely missed everything. We only had a few shots. We don't have a lot of missile fire up there. So it's going to come down to the Judean. Again, this is anticlimactic. It really don't matter. The Romans need to own 4 of this in their next turn. So let's see if the Judeans can take any, and I'm going to get all the archers I can over there. I wanted to move guys here, but then they'd have to just shoot them, so I left them in the bastion. Anyways, I'm doubled up on archers here. I replaced the zealot here. But I took these 2 and started with this, and rolled a 3, added 2 to it, and got a 5. So I didn't even get the 6 to continue attack, but I destroyed the disrupted unit, so that attack's done. Here it is, the Roman turn. Last turn, turn number 10. And we're going to take a Judean missile fire phase. So we're going to go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. I can get 18 on that guy. It's just going to flood more in. There's not much I can do about it. And it's a 1. 18 and a built up. And actually missed. So that's it. Let's get on with it. See what happens here. It's going to come down to 1 attack. That's what it comes down to. Last attack. I moved all missile fire I could, because when his turn comes I want to disrupt any of these from missile fire here that I can. And maybe this. With all this here. So let's do the melee. So here we go. Pretty stressful. 3-to-1 attack. They have Eleazar, Temple, and Knight for 3. All I have is Titus, so it's a -2 off this dice. 6. Whoa. Well, we got to come through. We come through. Let's see what it is, though. Because I have to go down to 4. We have 1 elimination. So I didn't take the hex. Okay, but prior, remember it's prior or after modifications if you get the 6. So I get to shoot it again. So let's do it again at 59. And now it's down to an 11. 5-to-1. Judean rally, we got the routes off that and that, but this one missed, but this one did rally an archer, which is good. Judean missile fire, all this on this, I had a disruption. So there's 1 archer out. On this side, unless I got something here, I got nothing to hit that except from this wall. You have to, that has to shoot there, so I really don't have anything on that. So let's shoot that. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23 on a bastion. Missed. Sheesh. Yep, no good. Alright, Judeans fire. Well, they have to take 1. On this hex here, I can fire 6 and then 7, because 1 got disrupted. No, 7. Oh, you can't shoot because of him. So it's 6. On this side, because you have to shoot him, it's 6 again. You can get 1. So it's 7 on one of those stacks. Doesn't really matter which way I go. Let's do this one. Wrong dice. 1. Missed. So they have to melee. It's going to come down to their melee. So instead of trying to attack Titus with all this power here, I'm going to try this. I have 12. I have an 18 going after 14. 1-to-1. But I get to add 2. Eleazar and attacking in the temple I add 1. Oh, and and attacking at night. Oh, I was giving the Judeans defending at night. No wonder it was so tough. You don't get one defending at night. You only get one to attack. I think I was doing that. Whatever. You know, I've been making mistakes. It's hard to do both. But anyways, he's going to get a +1 plus. He's going to get a +3 on this. So let's try it. And it's a 6. It means he shoots again. And we have an elimination. Oh, because of Roman infantry, it's a 5. So it's a disruption. But he shoots again. And now it's 18 and 7. Now it's 2 to 1. There's a 4. Disruption. Well, he just took the hex. Well, that's the game. That's how hard it is. It looks like, I'm telling you, I've never made it past the 3rd assault. Going into the night really hurts. Fighting in the temple's tough. And again, playing this game, if I was just playing the Roman side, I would probably get a little more technical as far as giving me some extra plus and minuses, moving this here, moving this there, staying out of zone of control. And as the Judeans, I'd be doing the same thing as well. A little more technical, getting plus and minuses to my advantage, which I probably was missing a lot. And then I was forgetting rolls and making mistakes. But it came down to dice rolling too. I mean, I got lucky a couple times in here. So it's tough to win as the Romans, and I even used that special table. So, but I'm going to continue this assault because I've never been past this phase. So let's say the Roman would take the temple, because I've never done an escape. So I would like to do an escape and then show you guys what's up as far as the Judeans trying to escape the city and how that works. So we're going to say the upper city was conquered and the temple was conquered. But of course, we know that I came from inches away from taking the temple. So I really like my plan. This assault period, we added up the dead, and it was 234 victory points for the Judeans, for the casualties. Then the Judeans secretly write their artillery down, but of course I don't have to secretly do it. Here, 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 along this wall here. Okay? And then the preparation time is 5 weeks. So remember, the first assault took 1 week. The second assault I prepped for 7, and then it took a week to assault, so total 9. Third week I took 8 weeks, and then another assault for the week, for a total of 18. And this one I'm taking 5. It leaves me with, plus the week for this 4th assault, it leaves me at 24 weeks. That means I only have 1 week left. That means if we go to a 5th assault, I have 1 week to spare. Remember, you can't go over 25. So I go right up to 24. So I spent 5 weeks of preparation. Builds ramps, I can't, because you're only allowed 1 time ramp building in the game, and I already did. The Judean can make repairs. There were no repairs to make in any area that the Judeans own. They own the city of David, the lower city, Herod's palace, the Roman barracks, and the Yofo triangle. The Roman engages in mining. I did. I had to -1 off the dice for 5 weeks. I rolled a 2, so therefore I got a 1. I mined 1 right there. I affected 5 walls. I breached 1. And let's see how much walls are. Those 8s, I think, are breaches. On a regular wall, yes, the 8s are breaches. So Those two are breached. So I've already breached those 3. The bastion's going to be 10. So I'm missing that by 1 and that by 1. And I'll have a full breach there to get in the lower city. Then I decide if I'm going to salt, yes. And now I draw my replacements, which I think I had 38 total dead, something like that. I got 19 units back. Victory points, there is a total of 700 out of 3 assaults. It's 731 victory points so far for the Judeans. Remember, 1,500 and they win the game. So I have not, and I own, at this point, I need to own 45% of the city, and I own 70% of the city. Okay, there's 10% for this new city, 10% for the Tyropian, 5% for the Antonio Fortress, 30% for the Temple Corner, and 15% for the Upper City, for 70%. And then the Romans set up. And also the Judeans, if they wanted to hold fortresses, they put a man in them, which they did. Now here's the deal. Here's where it gets tricky. It's hard to play this one by myself. I mean, it's a lot better if you have 1v1. So here's where it starts getting tricky, where we can do a cat and mouse like game and try to trick the opponent or deceive your opponent. Now as the Romans, what I'm looking at here is at the end of this assault, like I've already stated, I have to have 70%, and I have it. So there's no need to me really in this assault to even try to take another city section. Now is that good for me or bad? Well, what it would do is just keep the Judeans in the city section. I might lose a few Romans. And then we move to the last assault. And then we're in the same situation. So it would probably give him a few more victory points, because he's going to get 2 more phases where I lose Romans. Or I'm going to try to end the game right here and now. I'm pretty sure I can take the lower city, and that way I will not lose the game. So that's good. The second thing I have to watch out for is the escape. Now there's 2 ways the Judeans can win when I gain control of more than 75% of the city. He can decide to stay in the city sections. Now if he stays on the board to the end of the game, he will get 10 points for every fort he controls, and he will get 50 points for Eleazar staying on the board. And that comes out to about 360 points. Plus, for this last assault, see, the Judeans would want it to go another assault. Well, no, because the Romans are out of weeks, so they wouldn't have any more prep time next week, so they wouldn't get any victory points. But for this assault, he's getting 50 victory points because we're going 5 weeks, our prep time. So it's 360, and 50 is 410, which comes out to 1,141 points. That means he would need a good 350 casualty points to win the game if he stays on the board. Well, we've already seen his best assault period when I was taking the temple. He only got 234. So unless he destroys a few siege engines, a leader, stuff like that, he's not getting those points. So remember, this is me as a Roman. If I was playing somebody, what I'd be thinking about. So I would think it would do to him no good to stay on the board for both assaults. But I would like him to stay. I would try to keep him on the board. So the Judeans' next bet is to escape the city. Now if you add those points up, he gets 250 points for Eleazar escaping and 100 points for each leader. That's 4 leaders. That's 400 points. That's 650 points just for the 5 leaders escaping the board. That will gain him the 1,500 points needed to win this game. So it's definitely in the Judean's best interest to escape the city. Now he cannot start escaping the city until I gain control of 75% of the city. And that won't happen until I conquer the lower city. Now, here's the last thing I can lose from as a Roman. If the Judeans, see, they're keeping a man in these fortresses back here. If he puts 3 men, 3 men, 3 men, 3 men, 3 men, because he sets up after me, he can still come out and retake the new city, the Tyropian city, the temple, the upper city. If he retakes these cities from me, then I lose the game, because I don't have the 70% when this assault is done, owning the city. So I can't lose any of these cities. My point being, if I were to just get my armies and surround the city, put a legion out here, I'm showing you a legion out there, partial units in the temple, and keep him from escaping, I'm really weakening the temple area, the Tyropian city, the new city. He'll be able to come in from the forts and retake these cities, even like if he's set up like that to retake the temple. It really leaves the Roman in a vulnerable position because I have everything on the outside so he can't escape. That is not very good for the Romans. What I have to do is make sure I don't lose these cities, the temple and the other cities, and make sure I conquer the lower city. I want to finish this game right here and right now, and try to keep him from escaping. That's a lot of stuff for the Romans to do, so I'm going to set up according to that. Remember, my first priority, do not lose any of Jerusalem. Second priority, keep him from escaping, and take the lower city. So I'll come back with the Roman setup. Roman setup is like this. I got the 12th Legion with its commander right here. Now the commander, remember there's penalties at 5.3. If you're not within command control range, you're not allowed to move into enemy Zoc, and there's some various other rules. So if the legions are not within 10 hexes of the commander, they can't like get next to Judeans and attack them. So it's very important where I put the commanders, because I put Veleti and heavy infantry and artillery here with the commander. Depending on where I have to fight, I can adjust the commander, because if he tries to escape, the artillery here and these legionnaires can help cover this area, you know, probably about out to here. And then the 12th's covering the temple. There's only there's 3 ways into the temple. He has to come in through this gate, so I got it protected. He has to come in through this gate where I have an armored tower and men protecting the breach right there. Or he works his way around and comes in through this breach, which is why I have this men. So I think I have this pretty much covered. Now the 5th Legion, I gave the commander Titus, so he can command these troops. The 5th Legion's job is to come up to this gate, this little corner section. That's why I put some troops right here. The towers I'm just keeping out of the way. I don't need them. We're going to run men up on the wall here, run down the wall. The 5th's going to come in this side into the lower city, why the 12th holds the temple and watches out here. And the 5th will come in the lower city right here. So, now, the 5th Legion's commander is over here. I also gave the 5th Legion the task of watching the new city so it doesn't get taken by the Judean forts that they still hold on this side of the board. So, holding this side of the board. So I think this is enough legionnaires here to watch anything trying to come in this side. Remember, you can always put 3 on the forts, and if I have to move more Romans this way, I will. But this is enough to really start killing them, I think. And I have the leader right here commanding them. Now, it'll be the 10th Legion job to take the lower city where I mined. It's going to take these forces and attack. I'm going to hold these back to watch any troops here trying to come in to the upper city. Now, the guards here in the Herod's Palace, they can't come out. Then I put the last legion, the 15th. I had to pick a section to cover. I figured we might as well have him help. He can get up here as quick as any spot here to help the lower city and to cover this section of any escape route. So you can see he's covering this. So part of the legion's covering this section, the 12th's covering that section right there. All the rest of these pieces are foederati and cavalry from all 4 legions. They are exempt. Once the escape is in progress, because there's certain rules, once the city falls below 25% for the Judeans, they can start the escape. That means they can jump down off the walls, they get special movement. Once that happens, all the cavalry and foederati are exempt from the penalties of 5.3. That's why they're covering the escape routes right here. So that's the Roman setup. Now, the Judeans can put their troops wherever they want. They can put a whole faction here, all along the forts, you know, anywhere they want to pick. But here's the deal. Even if they put a faction here and all a faction along these forts, then I'm thinking, wow, they're going to want to try to escape off this side. They're not even protecting the lower city. I don't have to conquer the lower city until I shift my men. So if I see them do that, I'm going to shift everybody to where they need to be. You know, take 3 turns, put them where they need to be, and then conquer the lower city, and then he can start his escape. So I can counter where the Judeans set up after they set up, because he can't start the escape until I take the lower city. So just bear that in mind. So my initial placement is right here, but now it's up to the Judeans. I got to see what the Judeans are going to do. And again, I've never come this far in the game. I've never made it past the 3rd assault. And if you watch the other videos, you know it came down to 10 turns to conquer the temple. It came down to the 10 turns on the Judeans' bottom half of the 10th. They retook one of those edifices, and the Romans would have actually lost the game. But for the sake of gameplay here and learning how to do this and seeing how well this plays out, I kept it going. That's why we're in the 4th assault. And this is how I would set up after looking at all the rules and the strategy of the games. Seems pretty interesting. I really like it. It'd be great. It's like a chess match playing a Judean player at this point, because he has a great chance of still winning if he escapes properly. So we're going to come back with the Judean setup. I put the Shimon faction to guard the breach. So if the Romans plan on taking the lower city, they're going to have to fight for it. I put the Jonathan faction against this legion back here. I put this other faction, the Eleazar faction, on this corner here. And then I spread out the Jonathan faction. Yeah, this ain't Jonathan. This is... Now, I set the Zealots and Eleazar here at the Roman barracks and Herod's palace. Kind of a different look. The Romans are going to look at that and go, probably wants to scoot on down the wall here and get out. So before the Romans actually take that, we'll be shifting some Roman units, I think, to guard against that. Again, as a Roman player, I'm trying not to lose Roman units if I don't have to. I'm going to have to right here. This unit's going to assault, and this unit's going to assault right here to get that lower city. We're going to take that lower city, and then it's up to the Judeans. They have to decide whether they want to attempt the escape or not. Now the Romans, once they gain control of the lower city, can unilaterally declare the assault over, which is what they would want to do here. However, there's a special rule that if the Judeans are in the middle of an escape, then the Romans can't declare that. So we will come back. Like always, each assault starts with a free Judean fire phase. The Judean fire phase, the Roman rally phase, first the Judean free fire phase, then the Roman rally phase, then the Judean fire phase in the Roman turn, and then the Roman fire phase, and then the Roman movement. And this is where we're at. Just a couple pieces got disrupted, and that's it. I'm just going to slowly take this area with this. Once it's taken, he's either conceded and will go to another assault phase, or he starts running. I'm going to attack. I just have this area to attack and that. Nothing much. This turn is definitely the fourth assault here. Waiting for the escape is definitely different than the first three assaults, which was just attack, disrupt, die, rally, over and over and over. This one has a way different feel to the game. And what's amazing is, even though you would think, well, the Romans losing the temple would lose the game, but even if the Judeans lost the temple area, you would think the Judeans are going to lose the game, but that is absolutely not true. That's just one step. Here, the Judeans still have a good chance of winning, so this game is rather good that way, and it still continues on. And I'm still going to see if I can pull out either a Judean win with the escape, or if the Romans can stop them. So actually, I got to stop the Roman game right here, because it really is a cat and mouse game, and it's hard to do that against myself because you're trying to really outthink the opponent and trick them. So, I mean, I'm trying to, remember, I already explained it all. I mean, it's just difficult to play this part on my own. So, that'll wrap up the Siege of Jerusalem game. Here are my list of things that I liked and didn't like. Number one, I really liked how I stayed on this side of the board only. As you came to know, as it came to be seen, even though the Judeans owned the entire forts on this side, it still didn't give them enough to hold a victory at the end of the game for 1,500 points if the Judeans decided to not escape and stay on the board. Now, can the Judeans improve on that? Sure, they got to kill more Romans, which is hard to do. Second, so I liked that. Second, what I think I need to improve on, which will help me, it's still going to be a close game no matter how you look at it, is where I set up my mines. I need to hit this temple. In the second assault, when I start to mine, I have to pick that. I did not. I picked over here. And I wanted to use this corners coming in. Wrong move. I should pick that. Then in the third assault, you know, I took 8 weeks and I mined again, and I need to hit that again. So this whole area gets hit. It'll give me quick access up here when I assault the temple. From here into this gate, I need to have access going this side. That was a mistake I saw on my part. Second, the rams sitting here, the ramps, was a total waste. This wall does me no good walking along it. It gets me nowhere. You have to fight all the way down it. All the way down it back here, you have to fight. It was a waste of time. The ramps should not be there. Here, when I mined the wall in the second assault, it was against the Antonian fortress. I think that's still good. I need to do that because I need to take the Antonian fortress. Once this is taken, when I mined here in the third assault, it didn't breach one wall. I did not breach one wall, and I had to spend 3 turns breaking down the walls here to get in. So here's what I want to do. In the second assault, I will mine out here like I did. I will mine here, 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 and there. So what I need to do here on the third assault is mine this section here, right here in the middle. Just mine it. Forget this section where the edifices are. Just mine here, mine this, and mine that. All three around the temple. Because you know, it took me too long. It was turn 5 or 6 before I even started breaching the second wall. That's way too long. It didn't give me enough time to fight there. So I need to have mines breaching these 3 walls. And as far as the ramps go, I think having the full amount of 5 ramps, which I'm going to get, prep in 8 weeks, I don't think it will really be needed. I'll mine the wall, mine the wall, mine the wall. Whatever space, which may be right in here that didn't get mined or hit or damaged, I'll throw a couple ramps here. And that way give me quick access as I'm coming through here, getting up on the walls here. So I can totally control this area, I think, in 3 turns. Get in here, and by the 4th or 5th turn, I'm fighting inside the temple. That's what I need. I didn't start fighting there till 6th or 7th turn. So that's the improvements I need to make, is mine all 3 sections there in the 3rd assault. In the 2nd assault, mine this one. And that'll help me there. Another thing I really liked that I will continue to do is not attack multiple sections of the city, giving him more reserves. I kept my attacks to 1 section of the city at a time, limiting how many reserves he could bring in. One thing I really liked with the Romans is I kept my missile infantry right behind the front line, so I had devastating missile fire the whole game. So make sure you do that. The 1-2 punch is definitely needed. You got to have the missile fire always there. Remember, the Judeans can win by staying on the boards. So if they want any chance of winning that way, which because of the fortresses I held, because of having Elazar still on the board, I was not that far off. I remember I added it up. I don't remember the exact figures, but maybe, I don't know, 400 more points. Therefore, the Judeans need to really try to destroy some siege engines, artillery, maybe get a little more aggressive. Another thing I liked about the Judeans is standing up the Romans at the wall in the beginning, I think is good. There's nothing else you can do. You just can't let them run in too fast and start attacking a second section of the wall that you're not prepared for. But once you had all these built-ups on your side, it might be a good idea to give the Romans the wall and you start defending like this in a built-up. Because here we're already going into turn number 3 and he still just hasn't even got inside the city. And I didn't even defend the walls. So the Judean might have a good play that way. And the last thing I can remember what I liked about the Romans is I don't use my rams on the gates. I only did that right here because the temple's a all or none type of situation, so you go for it. But out here I don't use the rams in the gates. The gates sorties can come out of. They're usually fortresses and forts. The Judeans have a lot of firepower on them. That's how you lose rams and siege engines. So I don't like attacking the gates. I'll only do it when it comes to the temple. And that wraps up Siege of Jerusalem gameplay. And pretty soon we are going to be doing the miniatures version with opponents. So that ought to be good. We'll see.